Welcome to the Men's Room. I'm Tim Cooper, and this channel is for successful men who've quietly lost the plot. I'm a high-performance coach, car-obsessed, and apparently someone who thinks successful men need to hear some hard truths. Every week, I'll give you the tools, the frameworks, and the conversations that help you to close the gap between the man that you are and the man you could be. If that sounds like your kind of show, you're in the right place. Hello and welcome back to the channel. My name's Tim Cooper and this is the Men's Room. And today I'm going to show you a map. That's right, a map of change. And you're probably thinking, a map of change? Give it to me, Tim. Give it to me. And the reason that I'm doing this is because I've tried to change so many things in my life, just like you. And I've helped hundreds of men now change so many different aspects of their lives. And you don't really know where you are on the journey of change half the time. That's why a lot of people give up, because they lack clarity of the stages. That's why this is such an important diagram. And most importantly, it's a visual reference. You can look at this and say, I see where I am now. I see why I'm feeling this way. And most importantly, I can prepare for the next stage. That in itself gives you the certainty to act on the things that you need to do at that particular stage. You'll also see that you can't just skip to different stages. So when you're in stage 2, you can't move to stage 7. Of course you can't. If I asked you to put 7 links in a chain, but I only add link number 2 and link number 7, well, that chain's going to break pretty fast, right? It's the same, exactly the same with changing. So when you think about change, it's a conversation that a lot of us like to think happens fast. Well, the decision to change happens fast. Of course it can. I can say, right, I'm going to change the way I'm moving my hands down. I'm going to put them over my head. Or I'm going to start to pull my voice down even lower like this, and I'll give it up again. So I can change all of that stuff pretty fast. But when you realize that the initial stage of change is there, so it sets you up for the rest of it, that's when you start to honor. That's when you start to respect. And that's when you start to realize that this is going to take a little bit of time, and you're going to need some patience, and you're going to need some persistence. Now, I don't know what you're trying to change in your life right now, but this diagram is going to really help you. So let's dive in to this diagram because it is a game changer. As you can see, we've got an axis here, self-actualization. This is you actually working on your own, doing things in flow state. Down here, we've got the other axis, which is time, the amount of time that it takes to actually get to that stage. And it does take time. And I just want you to know that that time is individual to the goal, individual to the person, and individual to the background. So let's dive straight in. Number 1 is what gets everybody. It's shock. It's shock. The initial shock of change, especially when it's governed from external factors. So for example, let's look at me for a minute here. The shock of having a second baby at 46 years of age has hit me like a freight train. I thought that I was ready for everything that was going to be coming my way, but I come to realize that I'm not. And it's shocking me now to the day. And for a man who likes certainty, safety, comfort, and predictability, it's a bit of a shit show in my head around this particular part of my life. And I've got my wife at home who's also in shock, disbelief, because we're trying to figure this out. We're trying to go through this change of, being parents with just with one child to being parents with 2 children. It's pretty tough. And as they say, 1 is fine. Well, it's not fine, but 2 feels like you've got 6, and it does. Couple that up with 6 dogs. I've got 6 dogs as well, 6 Cocker Spaniels, believe it or not. Nuts in my house, chaos. The shock of, is the baby okay? Should it be doing that? The shock of the sleep, the deprivation, the shock of feeling a bit of brain fog, knowing that I need to do these videos, but coming off the back of like 2 hours sleep. That's a shock to my system. And that right there is the initial stages of change. And I know that when I'm in this stage, I'm trying to figure it out. I'm trying to find the certainty. What I'm trying to do is to get a hold on this change that I'm going through. Now, this usually happens, this shock, as I say, when it's something outside of you, when you've chose it, but what you've chosen now doesn't allow you to choose the next stage. And what I mean by that is me and my wife chose to have a second child, but we don't then choose how that plays out. We have to be adaptable. We have to learn how to pivot and adjust. And that's all part of this first stage of change. So if you're there right now, if you just had kids, especially, I'm with you. Reach out to me because I'm struggling just like you. But I want you to know that that's completely normal. It's a massive life-changing event. And this is not just about me and, having kids. This is really important for you for you guys that are actually going through this version of change in your own world, maybe with different things in your life. It's really important to recognize and realize that you're probably still in shock at the moment. That is the very first stage to change. As you can see, as shock starts to decrease, this starts to rise. And this is denial. So this is when you start to downplay. This is when you start to push things to the side. You're like, do you know what? It doesn't really mean as much as I thought it would. Like, do I really need to be doing all of this uncomfortable stuff? Like, do I want it enough? I don't know, mate, I started this goal off, I wanted this thing at the start, but now I'm in it. Now I'm in the process of trying to change it. I'm questioning it. I don't know really whether this is right for me anymore. So we end up in this stage of denial, but deep down we know it's right. But here's what we're trying to do. We're trying to protect ourselves in that moment of denial. And most importantly, we're trying to go against everything that we know, because now we are deep in it. We're deep in the change and the shift of change. And that's why you're starting to make deals with yourself. You're starting to say, I don't know whether this is a bit of me, I don't know whether, do I need it this much? I don't know, I'm pretty comfortable over here. Come to think of it, yeah, I think I'll stay where I am. This is where so many people give up. When they're in denial, they go backwards. And here's what they choose when they go backwards. They choose safety. And when you spelt that wrong. When you choose safety, it's been a long day. I told you I'm sleep deprived. When you choose safety, well, you don't choose growth. And when you don't choose growth, you don't choose change. And that's why this is such an integral part of what you need to do if you want to change. Maybe you're here right now. If you are, please keep going. Keep going back to the reason why you want this thing. When you sat down, when you said, this is what I want, this is what I'm going after, this is the life that I want, because you did that at some stage. Otherwise, we won't be here drawing out this diagram. Just keep going, keep pushing, and do not let this denial, the little devil, come in and sit on your shoulder, because he will deter you. He will pull you away from what you want to achieve. And in the end, you'll end up going straight back to where you was in the first place. And I don't want that for you. And I know that you don't want it for you either. So the third stage of change is awareness. And I'm not going to lie. When this hits you, it is brutal. And I'll tell you why. Because you can't run anymore. And so you start to get angry, frustrated. You start to look back. How have I got here? I can't believe I've arrived at this place. This shows you everything about yourself. It is a very, very tough place to be. And it hits so hard that you question again, I don't know whether this is worth it. But in that moment, as you're coming down, because you are on the downward now, because you've come up here from shock, you're in denial a little bit, but now you're on the downward spiral, and you're thinking to yourself, I shouldn't be going down now, should I? I should be going up. I'm trying to change. I should be going up now. But no, this hits you heavy like a ton of bricks, because a lot of people run, and they run and run, expecting that one day they're going to run so far away that everything that they've been running is going to disappear. But it doesn't. Do you know what it does? Behind you, it's creating momentum. But it's not showing you that because you can't see it yet. But when it starts to build that momentum, that snowball, it's devastating. And when it hits you, and when it hits you hard, you start to question your own existence. What in the hell have I been doing? How have I arrived here? I cannot believe I've let myself go this long. I've let this happen to me when I could have changed it. Why have I got to this place? It's one of the toughest places to be on this journey of change. But when it's brutal, it normally breaks through. And sometimes we just need to hear the hard truth. Okay, stage number 4. Stage number 4 is acceptance. And this, my friends, is when we start to change the trajectory and we start to go up, which is very exciting. This is when you realize, I've been running my old story. And do you know what? I'm going to start to let go of it. It's not going to be easy, but I've come this far. And when you start to accept, you start to forgive. When you start to forgive, you start to find that inner peace, and you start to find that inner confidence within yourself. That self-esteem goes through the roof now. Because why? You are changing your identity at this stage. You are no longer somebody that puts it off. You are somebody that steps into it. And that empowers you. And when you feel empowered, there's nothing better, because you ask yourself, what more can I do with my life? What more can I take on? What more can I change about myself? And the beautiful thing about acceptance is you've got 3 other stages that come before that, which acts as data, evidence that you can do it, that you can change. And you get to this place and you reflect back and you say, wow, I'm here now, but look what I was holding on to. Look at all of this stuff that I've been holding on to for such a long time. But there's an inner peace that comes with this. There's a tranquility within you. There's a calm about your energy, because now you realize that you're about to turn a new leaf. Okay, stage number 5. You start to experiment. You start to experiment and you're asking yourself, what new skills can I take on? What new things can I bring into my life to not only facilitate my next level, but also honor the levels before me? Also honor those levels 4, 3, 2, and 1. What can I start to do now? And this is a beautiful stage, but it's also a stage that requires a lot of patience. Because when you're in this experimentation phase, you have a tendency to lower your boundaries and take on more than you should. And you do it because you're excited. You do it because you're thinking to yourself, my world's opening up right now, and I'm starting to do things that I haven't done for years or I've never done before. So I'm starting to look at life in a total different way now. My perspective has changed. The lens that I'm looking through now of life has shifted so much. And so people around you at this phase start to change. Your friends, your group, your circle, people that you learn from. Because now you're trying to take on new stuff, new skills. And naturally, the people that represent old baggage, unless they want to come with you on this journey of growth, this transformation, it's really tough to continue having these people in your life, because you're going over here, different trajectory, right? You're going up to number 6 here, which we're about to discuss. And so what this will do, this gap here from 5 to 6 right here, this exposes a lot of the people that are in your circle. It shows them what they're not doing and what you are doing. And so you start to lose a lot of people here. A lot of people that used to get you, used to have really close relationships with, you don't see them as much anymore. You don't spend as much time. You don't make as much effort. And that's normal, because you're growing and evolving into a different person, because you've been on this journey. And the right ones will come with you and the wrong ones won't. And sometimes that's tough, because you have this perception that these people are going to be in my life forever. But they're only there at certain stages. Remember that. The right people are there at the right time, and they facilitate the next stage. Some people are in your life just so you can then progress to the next stage. That's what they're there for. That's what they're meant for. Not everyone in your world and in your life is meant to be there forever. Just remember that. Tough, but true. Experimentation. Get ready, because you're about to let go of a lot and start learning some new stuff. Okay, let's talk about stage number 6. A beautiful, beautiful stage. I say meaning, but it's also searching. This is a beautiful stage, because now what you realize, that these things that you're experimenting with, you're starting to question them. Why are they working? Why does this feel so good? Why do I want to continue doing this? And why do I want to let go of this? So life at this stage starts to become very intentional. You're not distracted as much anymore, and you're starting to do things that actually align to the person that you want to become and the life that you want to live. And everything will have a purpose. And that is when life lights up, because everything that you buy, everything that you do, everywhere you go, everyone that you see, everything that you contribute to will have an underlying meaning of depth. And that means that life isn't superficial anymore. And it means that the relationships, the connections, not just to the people, but to maybe the things that you're buying and the places that you're going, they all have a concrete foundation. And when you're in that phase, every decision that you make has a point to it. And there's passion behind that. So you start to live this life where everything feels like it's got its place. That's an extremely nice place to be, because now you're living life how you should, present. And when you're present, you get the most out of each moment. When you're present, you have gratitude. And so when you reach this phase, you nearly completed it. Okay, so here we are, the final stage in the journey of change. And it is integration. You no longer have to think. You've changed who you are. Your identity's changed. Everything that you do now operates subconsciously. Your routines, your rituals. And look where this sits. Look how high this sits from this whole graph all the way down. Look how high. Because what you've done is created a different life through this journey of change. You've honored every stage. And my God, look how messy it is. Look how tough that has been. It's not been easy. It hasn't. But as you know, nothing worth having comes easy. And when you start to integrate these things in your life, especially when you've got all the meaning and you've been searching for purpose, and now you just become it, this is time for you to enjoy. This is time for you to reap the benefits of all the hard work that you've put in, every single obstacle, challenge, every part of self-doubt that's come up, everything that's been in your awareness, and everything that you've had to accept and experiment with has now got you to this stage. And now you can enjoy your new life. I hope you enjoyed this video. This is one of my favorite exercises to teach. I've done it for over 10 years now, and it really lands when I do this with clients. And I hope that this has helped you somewhere along your journey of change, because it is, well, it's outstanding when you put it into practice. And it's something that I lean on every single day myself, and I'll continue to use this till the end. Don't forget, if you enjoy videos like this, please like, comment, subscribe, forward this on to somebody that's going through change right now, because I think that this could really, really help them. Thank you for watching this video. My name's Tim Cooper, and this is The Men's Room. See you back for another video very soon.